On the well-known Route 9A, a highway that runs along the west coast of Manhattan, New York County officers were involved in a brief police chase in which a fugitive in a Honda CR-V tried to evade the stop signals from patrols. Although it was fortunately not a high-speed pursuit, the suspect's resistance was at times a huge headache for the officers. The scenes captured from the cabin of a truck driver who had been paying attention for miles back show how the driver of a tanker truck decided to perform a brave maneuver on the highway to block the suspect's path. Once in his lane, the truck driver deliberately slowed down, preventing the Honda CR-V from having any escape. Thanks to this maneuver, the officers were able to stop the suspect on the side of the road, while both trucks were able to continue their normal routes without any problems. These scenes, recorded from the cabin of a police patrol car from Pleasant Hill, Iowa, captured one of the most shocking outcomes in the history of police pursuits. It all began when the officer tried to stop a couple of subjects in a light pickup truck as they were suspects in the theft of a small lawn tractor. The driver immediately ignored the calls to stop and fled, reaching speeds of up to 90 miles per hour. Determined to escape, he headed toward the intersection with one of the busiest highways in central Iowa. Without considering the consequences, the driver of the fugitive car ran the obvious red light, without thinking that this would be the last of his bad decisions. On the other side, a flatbed truck, which was traveling at approximately 60 miles per hour, was unable to avoid a full-on collision with the side of the pickup truck, causing it to spin and completely destroying everything in its path. To understand the force of the impact, it's enough to know that the stolen lawnmower was found more than 45 meters from the point of impact.
He's kind of doing stupid stuff.
Advertising strategies are often very varied and unique in certain aspects, although, honestly, something like this had never been seen before. A subject in a box truck, apparently reported as stolen from the home improvement retail chain Lowe's, initiated a police chase that extended from Los Angeles County to Ventura County in California.
Stay with him. What are you doing? Dude!
However, this wasn't the striking part, but rather that during his pursuit he managed to collide with another box truck, as well as two other vehicles, initiating a chase within his chase. The other truck driver, nicknamed Mr. Tires due to the logo on his unit, followed the suspect quite closely, crossing his path several times to stop him, despite the complicated road conditions due to the rain. Although after some maneuvers the suspect managed to avoid Mr. Tires' fury, he failed to evade the police. Moments later, he lost control of the truck and got stuck in a small grassy area, allowing the officers to proceed with his arrest. Dozens of Los Angeles County patrol cars were pursuing, without much success, a suspect in a black Toyota Tacoma who was accused of serious crimes. This chase, which began in Southern California in San Diego, seemed to be extending to the city of Los Angeles, if not for one small significant intervention. When the pursuit reached the urban area of Ontario near the city of Riverside, the suspects seemed to be closer to escaping than to being apprehended, maneuvering recklessly through parking lots, reaching speeds of up to 70 miles per hour on the streets. It was at that moment, when wanting to cross an intersection, that a truck driver named Mike Chabayon decided to intervene despite the suspect's audacious driving. While waiting at the traffic light at that intersection, he bravely rammed the fugitive's Toyota Tacoma directly with his truck, abruptly stopping the chase. Although his good deed was responsible for the officers finally being able to stop the suspect, his truck took the worst of the impact, severely damaging the chassis, bending it considerably, and leaving his unit inoperable.
As we spoke, another driver yelled praise for the hero.
In Philadelphia, a Friday night went from a moment of rest to a real chaos in some of the main urban areas. Around 9 p.m., a report of a domestic altercation turned into a strange chase that seemed straight out of a movie. A man, about 40 years old, was erratically driving an ambulance half naked, ramming into both police and civilians. At one point, the suspect hit a patrol car, injuring the officers. This enraged a tow truck operator who, in his unit, decided to pursue the suspect, trying to get in front of him in order to break the ambulance's radiator with his lifting arm, so it would overheat. In his attempts, the tow truck managed to hit a front tire, causing the ambulance to gradually lose traction. Afterward, in some interviews given to the tow truck operator, he expressed that his bravery arose from witnessing the attacks against the officers, because in the past his grandmother had served as a police officer in that same district.
My grandmother was a cop down in the 1st District. I wouldn't want that to happen to my grandmother. 35th, 14th, all over the city, we worked alongside of the police officers.
Unfortunately, youthful recklessness can lead to extreme cases, like that of this 14-year-old boy who turned his terrible idea of a car ride into a scene of pursuit and danger. His brilliant plan was to borrow his grandfather's small Hyundai Veloster with the sole intention of driving it around the neighborhood for a while. However, the main problem was that he intended to do it without consent, so the authorities were quickly alerted. In videos captured from some cell phones, it can be seen how, in his desperation, the boy tries to perform evasive maneuvers to escape from the police, even going through a crowded park full of people. Although fortunately no one was injured in the park, the police reduced the intensity of the pursuit with the idea of avoiding more serious consequences.
Honestly, I haven't stopped shaking since it happened. I'm just glad that everybody's safe.
This decision did not please an off-duty police officer named Brando Rowell, who decided to take his Dodge Ram to end the pursuit on his own terms. Waiting for the boy to turn at an intersection, the officer deliberately crashed head-on into him, thus preventing anyone else from getting hurt.
About 3 of them almost got hit. They actually had to jump out of the way.
He's coming from an alleyway, and as I got closer...
Traffic lights can often be the cause of traffic violations or minor administrative offenses. However, on other occasions, they can also be responsible for truly shocking pursuits and accidents. In DeSoto, Texas, a 45-year-old man was stopped around 5:30 a.m. after running a red light. Despite the subject's initially good behavior, cooperating with the officer, a struggle suddenly began due to his refusal to be arrested.
He was just trying to pull away from me. He kept trying to turn and throw his weight, trying to get back to the truck. I kept pulling him back.
Reaching speeds of up to 100 miles per hour, the subject continued to ignore both the officer who was pursuing him closely and the traffic signals and lights themselves. However, this sudden luck would not last forever, as at a certain point, a concrete truck unintentionally put an end to the chase.
There was not very many vehicles on the road.
Even though it was fully loaded, the impact was so severe that the cement mixer truck overturned violently. This obviously ended the pursuit, as the suspect managed to get out of his vehicle on his own feet, but only to collapse meters later, succumbing to his injuries.
So you can see his shadow here as he gets out of the truck. Within minutes, paramedics arrive and the cement truck driver both rush to the hospital.